So hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Paul's Asian Adventure. With me today, I have the lovely Mia, which is also happens to be my girlfriend. And today we wanted to tackle a subject because we kind of experienced it for the first time. Well, actually not for the first time, the second time, but a long distance relationship. It's also long term, but long distance. On this subject matter is long distance, and we've been apart for a month, I think, and
Yes.
it's been a bit tough. In the beginning, it was exciting being alone, but feels kind of lonely sometimes now. Even though I have my good friend Gio here, and we hang out sometimes, it still feels lonely at night. No one to cook me dinner, no one to laugh with, no one to watch movies with. It can be a bit lonely, but so I wanted to talk about the long distance relationship and how it impacts the relationship. Now, in our long-term relationship, I keep saying long-term, long-distance relationship, of course, we've been together for about, what is it, a year and a half now? So
Yeah.
it's a bit different. Now, some people have a long-distance relationship and have actually never seen each other. So what's your thoughts on people who define themselves as a
Relationship.
long-distance relationship when they've never seen each other? What do you think about that? And also, we'll get into it. But first of all, let's start with that. What's your thoughts on that? Because there's a lot of Filipinos that have that, and a lot of white guys that have never been here, especially now because of the pandemic. So what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, my thoughts about that is I never really before you told me that if you are in a long term, like long distance relationship and you never met that person, that's not really called relationship. There's no really a thing in there. But
I know that's
before
what I say, but what do you
yeah,
say?
yeah, I was just explaining first. Okay. So so like before I think that's really like for me that's a relationship already because you guys are connecting with each other, and that's what I think before, but then I keep on thinking about it now. It's kind of like it's just like casual talking on the internet. Like there's no really connection between you two because you never seen each other from the very beginning. It's just
It's like a
because online,
chatmate.
yeah, because online is so much different from face to face. There's a very big difference to that. The
Yeah,
connection, the everything in a relationship, it's really different.
because
So
people can hide stuff pretty easily if you've
through
never seen
online,
them through online. You know, they only,
yeah, they're gonna show you what they want to show.
yeah,
So like if that person is hiding something and she doesn't want to show it to you, of course she's gonna show her other side, like her other personality. And when you met her in person, so different. Like,
yeah.
oh,
You're not
I never thought
gonna,
she's like this.
you're never gonna see the jealousy, the tempo, the other side of the coin, so to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we both kind of agree on that a long distance relationship without actually ever meeting that person, it's not really a relationship. You could say you're planning to have a relationship with that person and now you're in the phase of talking to them and evaluating them. But
Yeah.
when people say, oh, that's my girlfriend and we've been talking for 2 years and I've never seen her, I don't know. I
Like a
just,
chatmate,
it's like a chatmate.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's all it is. It's a chatmate. Yeah.
Even though you guys have been doing the video chat all day, every day, that's not really like it's not really a relationship in it.
I don't, I mean, that's my point of view, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to say to everybody, oh, it's bullshit. You're not in a relationship, but that's my point of view that,
we
I mean,
all have different point of view.
yeah, I mean, I respect people who say they are in a relationship. I just
Yeah.
disagree with them. So we'll have to agree to disagree with them. Now, the other thing that people have is when, for example, they well, it hasn't happened for a while now because of the pandemic, but some people will come here, they've chatted with a girl for 3 months, 6 months, 1 month, or whatever, and they found a girl that they believe they really like. And they come
Mm-hmm.
here and they hit it really well off. I mean, everything goes and they're laughing, they're holding hands, and just there's just that chemistry there. And then he goes back to the US or Western Europe or wherever that person is from, and they continue chatting. Now, at that point, do you consider them in a relationship, or are they still not in a relationship? Is it too short of a time together? What's your thoughts on that?
I think in that phase of it, I, I I can call that a relationship already, because like you guys already met, you guys already do bonding, you went out, you spend time together, you get to know
Bonding
each
is
other
what is bonding?
personally.
Bonding in the bed?
Bond.
Bond in the bed?
It depends on
Is
what
that what
you
you're
mean.
talking about? They're bonding in the bed. Everything's okay. They're happy. She's happy with him. He's happy with her. It's full chemistry, full bonding. Is that what you're
There's
talking
a
about?
full bonding in there.
Okay.
So yeah, I can call that a relationship already.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's still very tough
Yeah.
because, once he goes back to the West, she's here. There can become a lot of insecurities both on her side and his side, I think. What's
Yeah.
your thoughts on that, and why causes
Um
these insecurities,
I
do you
th-
think?
I think there's gonna for the girl, there's not much insecurities for the girl, babe, because um they will never think like the girls here, they have this confidence that that guy will never go back to Western woman, because so they have that
Why
confidence.
why would you go back to a 50-year-old hippo when you have a fresh mango just freshly plucked from the tree?
Freshly picked.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's not insecure. How about the guy then?
She's not, but for the guy there's a like big percent that he's so much insecure, because of the surrounding. Like there's gonna be other expats who's here, maybe who's gonna make a move on that girl. So it's more into the guy
Not just
that
only
feels
expats,
the
but Filipino
insecurity.
guys, right?
Yeah, there's also
Yeah,
Filipino guys.
yeah. So how, as a man, what do you think a man should do to, number one, avoid that type of insecurity, and number two, be sure that this girl is not kind of exploiting him? What can he do to alleviate those issues or those insecurities?
I'm gonna put a security cam.
Put a security cam in her house.
Yeah.
One of those little secret security cams, and then buy her
Yeah.
a Wi-Fi and pay for it, and she doesn't even know you're watching. Yeah, I remember that song
Oh
in the
my
80s. Somebody's watching you.
god. That's kind of like you're you're interfering the privacy of a person,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's not a good idea. But like if the situation's like that, maybe you'll have a spy. Someone you can trust, like say, is she with someone, something like that.
Wait 1 second. I need to see something.
Okay.
Huh, okay. Sorry about that. Just technical issues here. Um,
It's on your side.
it's on my side. Yeah.
So I can't really think of any idea what to do if that's the matter. Like the guy is so insecure.
Mm,
What about you? What can you think? Any idea?
I'll answer that in just 1 second.
Okay.
Hang on a second, please. Recording. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a really good question. How does a guy alleviate that problem of insecurity, living in the West, having no contact with that girl? That's a really good question. And I really don't, there are ways of doing that, which would cost money. And I'm hesitant to say it's a good thing to do, but if you're really insecure, because you must remember, marrying a girl is probably um, one of the biggest pitfalls in a man's life that he can commit to if things go wrong financially and emotionally.
Yeah.
So you can, for example, and I've heard of people doing this, hiring a private detective to, make sure that the girl is an up and up. She's not messing around with other guys. She's actually
Yeah.
a girl and all that. Is that something you should do? Well, that's something you as a person have to decide if it's worth it or not. Financially, I would say absolutely it's worth it because you are betting a lot on this girl. And if you have a good career and you have good income and all that, you don't want to be in a situation a few years down the line that that girl will hurt you emotionally and financially. So you really want to try to protect yourself, and that's one way of protecting yourself. Um, the other ways I can't think of right now. I'm sure I'll think of it after the video. But for example, I can give you an example. If you are sending her money, it's something I tell people not to do. But if you are sending her money, let's say $100 a month, tell her you're not going to do that anymore. You're just going to buy her a direct load on her phone where she can get a calling plan, with data, so she can
Yeah.
message
Yeah.
you and see what her reaction is. And follow through for 2, 3 months and see if she's still interested in you, if she's still talking to you like normal, or is she getting mad because you're not sending her money, and she's starting to tell you all these kind of sob stories because you're not sending her money. That is a good way to test out the girl. Another way to test out the girl is if you know someone that lives close to her, a good-looking guy, foreigner, or whatever, have him, and she doesn't know about him, have him put the moves on her. See what happens. Does she stay faithful to you? Does she go with this guy? There
Mm.
are ways, but it's kind of borderline morally. I don't know what the word is. Morally apprehensive, maybe. Uh, you know, it, it, it's kind of on the border of acceptable and not acceptable. It's something I would think twice about doing, because if the girl ever found out that you hired a private detective, I think it can put a bad taste in her mouth, especially if she's a good girl and she has nothing to hide,
Yeah.
kind of put her in a bad position. Um,
Like you
yeah,
you don't really trust me enough to
yeah,
do that kind of
yeah. I've
thing.
never done anything to you. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you do something like that, I'll just keep quiet about it the rest of your life.
I put you in a truth thing. Like, do they have this?
Truth serum.
Yeah. Tell me the truth.
So now we've established that that's a long distance relationship, and so yeah, so those are my thoughts on it. And what other situations are people in a long distance relationship? Maybe they've been with a girl like me and you have been here for a year and a half, and let's say a few months down the line, I'm offered a job in the US and I go back. Well, the only way to bring you over would be obviously marriage, something, as you know, I'm against. But if I'm in the US and I'm going to work for the next 3 to 5 years, I want you there, so I would make an exception.
I'm gonna call the manager.
Have them hire me.
Hire you?
So at that point, you're in another long distance relationship, but that's a different
Yeah.
type of a long distance relationship, because at that point you really know that person. You've been with
Yeah.
that person, you trust that person, you have that chemistry with that person. So I think that is much easier. I mean, I don't think I'd be in the US thinking, oh, she's cheating on me, oh my God, I need to hire a private detective. Because if I thought like that, I don't think I would be with you right now. So
Hmm.
I think it's yeah, that's a long distance relationship, but a much easier long distance relationship. So
But what if that person is really insecure? Like, even though they've been together for a year and all that, and he's still insecure, what can you do about it?
as a girl, you mean?
Hmm?
As a girl, what can you do about it?
Maybe both parties.
Well, as a girl, I think you can make the guy more secure by your actions, you know.
Yeah,
For example, holding his hand in
true.
public, leaning towards him, and always eye contact with him and not looking at other guys and, not flirting with other
That's
guys.
that's really rude if like
Yeah, but there are girls that do that, and the way you act, if you're, you know, if I'm in the US and I call you and you're at a party drinking, you're not the type of girl, but let's say I was with that type of girl. Of course, that's going to make you insecure, right? Because
yeah,
alcohol
yeah.
brings down
Can drive the
well, alcohol lowers your moral inhibitions, let me put it that way. So with that, I mean, every guy knows this, right? You take a girl out, give her a few drinks, and you know, things happen.
head on home.
Things happen. I don't
Accidents happen.
know. Accidents. So, so yeah, I think that's the way you make a person more secure, not partying, not drinking, showing him that you truly love him,
Yeah,
not his well, not what he can provide materialistically.
yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, I think that wraps it up. So with that, I want to say thank you to the lovely Mia from
Thank you
Filipina
too.
Life with Mia. And something else I forgot to mention. Congratulations on 5K, 5,000 subs. And what's amazing, she reached 5,000 subs in about a month. It took me, oh gosh, since I started seriously with YouTube, it took me what, 4 or 5 months to reach 5,000 subs. So she is a rising star, and I hope you don't forget us little
Well,
guys.
I owe you my channel because before me, I never really have the confidence to do it because
Not
I'm
just
so
me, but you have to thank Gio for interviewing you and getting you subs,
yes,
and
and
Paul,
Paul
Old
although
Dog, New Tricks also.
they're really nice guy.
Yeah, both of them, and
Maybe I'll treat them for coffee.
yeah. And if you ever get bigger than them by multiples, you owe them many interviews to try to build up their
Yeah,
channel.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
some people they just how should I say this? Some people don't do that. Some people get big and they forget the little guys that
They
help
never look
them.
back.
Yeah, they forget the little guys that help them. I could mention some examples, but I won't. And so it's important to be thankful to people who help you in your life and always pay it
Yes.
forward and pay it back. So with that, I want to thank my subscribers for watching. And I have to say it's much easier to watch when Mia's on because she's a bit better to look at than I am. So
No,
with that,
no,
I'm going to say,
someone wants to look at you too.
oh, no, they don't. With that, I want to say thank you to everybody and thank you to Mia. And I'll see you on the next
Thank you.
video. And Mia will be here soon, so we won't have to do this Zoom anymore. We'll do
This will be
live
the
in
Zoom and
person.
talk.
Okay, so I'll see you. Take care and bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Oh.